it's really sad when you see some spouses say, "Oh, that's how I've always been." No, your spouse shouldn't have to put up with how you've always been. There should be room for improvement.
Absolutely.
Hi there.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. I am Chidi Akunna.
And I am Victor Akunna.
Okay, today we'll be discussing something really interesting with you. And it is 5 reasons why couples grow apart and what you can do about that. Okay? It's not just enough to say, okay, we've grown apart, but what can you do about that? Now, in starting this, we would like to say, what are some of the signs of growing apart? Because someone might be sitting there and thinking, I don't know, but I just feel I'm not feeling my spouse the way we used to be. So what are some of the signs? Okay, you no longer enjoy each other's company. That's a sign you're growing apart.
Absolutely.
Okay, you no longer look forward to being with each other.
Yes.
That's a sign you're growing apart. I was throwing a big one there. You no longer have sex. It's a sign you're growing apart.
So when you begin to see some of these signs, you can't stand each other. Everything seems to lead to big, massive arguments. Sign you're growing apart. You don't even know what is happening in each other's lives. So you are in the same physical space, but you're in different emotional spaces. So you are not really connecting beyond just probably about around the children or basic things. That means you are growing apart. So that's when people move from soulmates to just being roommates.
Yes.
And that's what.
Okay, so in a case like this, someone may be wondering, what was it I did? Okay, so we'd highlight 5 points, not an exhaustive list, but something to get you started. You might need to query these.
Absolutely.
And the first one is, have you shared secrets with a third party? I mean, deep secrets with a third party. It's a big deal when your spouse confides in you in something, sometimes you hear people say, oh wow, I feel I would have been able to cope with what he or she did, but the fact that he revealed something that was supposed to be between us makes it a big deal to forgive.
Absolutely.
You see? So have you shared some of those deep secrets, intimate things that you probably thought, okay, the third party might be another member of the family, and you thought, okay, this is still a safe place, but then it got out and then it didn't go the way you planned it. So
this sometimes people do this when they are enjoying conversations with that third party. So in the process of saying something to buttress your point, you share something that will discuss with you in confidence. As someone who is a confidant to your spouse, it's so negative and so powerful that it can impact trust in your relationship. To the heart of the relationship. And the key thing is that when people feel that they cannot be themselves, they cannot be vulnerable around someone, what happens generally is that they begin to withdraw, they begin to build a shield around themselves because they don't want to be hurt again. Alright, so when someone begins to do that with their own spouse, you can do that with somebody at work that you see once in a while, but not someone that you live with, someone that you build, someone you call a life partner. You are doing life with this person. So when whatever you share will be discussed with our mom, or discussed with our dad, or discussed with a friend, and then people bring up things you are wondering, what did they know, don't they know? What most people do is that they begin to enter into their shell. And so when that happens, you begin to sever the connection, the emotional bond that you have. That's what happens. Another way that this happens is when people, because of the issues that is happening in their marriage, they now begin to talk to a third party. They are enjoying the company of the person. So for example, because I'm having an issue at work and I get to work and I'm talking to a particular lady and we are connecting in a certain way, what happens is that there's a law, there's a rule that says windows and doors. Anytime you open the window of your heart to somebody, you'll be shutting the door on your spouse. Anytime you open the window of your emotion to someone, you'll be shutting the door of your emotion to your spouse. It's the way it works. It's the way it works. So very important about be careful about what you discuss with people. This is one of the key reasons why you see couples that should have everything going for them. You're wondering why are they growing apart? They can't just stand each other, and these are the little foxes that ruin us.
Okay. So, when we say growing apart, it's simply the opposite of being intimate.
Absolutely.
You touched on something really sensitive when you were talking. Intimacy is a place of emotional safety.
Absolutely.
So when that place is stabbed in the relationship, your spouse no longer feels safe to discuss certain things with you.
Absolutely.
And so begins to withdraw.
Absolutely.
It's just natural. Okay, people retreat from where they have been, where there is pain.
Exactly.
Or where they have been caused pain in the past. Okay, so the next point we'll be talking about, the second one, is when you stop creating fun memories. Have you stopped creating fun memories? These things sometimes sound like cliches, but memories are so powerful. Try this one at some point. Just try going through your wedding albums and just looking at it. You'll be amazed at, do it together as a couple. You'll be amazed at how refreshed you feel, because there'll be so much to talk about. Oh, you remember this dance? Oh, you remember this person?
Absolutely.
And you remember that person? And there's something it does to you. It revives the relationship. It adds some life to it again. So when you stop creating fun memories, sometimes people get too used to themselves in the relationship, and then you grow from being childlike to just acting like, okay, we're two old people now in this relationship. No, never get too used to yourselves to get to that point.
Absolutely.
Okay, you need to be deliberate about creating fun memories. Sometimes, especially for busy couples, it is. There's so much to do, and then you probably may not just find the time, so you have to create the time.
You need to grab that time. I will share a story with you guys. When I was very young, maybe like 4 or 5, I had this uncle, all right, from my dad's side, that used to come to my house, come to visit us as a family. We always looked forward to that uncle. Anytime he comes, it's like he comes bearing gifts. So anytime we see him, we light up. I'm many years older than that age now, but anytime I remember him with fond memories. I remember him with enthusiasm. It's late now, it's of blessed memory, but I remember him with so much joy, because anytime he comes around, he created fun memory. It was fun to be around. Now imagine you have that kind of experience, your spouse have that kind of experience with you, that anytime you say you are coming home, your spouse lights up. They come alive because they will laugh, they will enjoy themselves, they will be pampered, they will be nurtured. See, if you nurture your spouse and you nurture each other, and anytime your spouse is coming home, they feel excited. There's a lot of you cannot grow apart. It's something you look forward to. It's like a particular movie. There is a movie that you love so much that anytime you are discussing it, you become animated, even though they say you're a very quiet person. But the moment you're talking about that movie, or that's maybe it's a game or a football, whatever you like, you're gonna come animated. That's the kind of experience. That's what we're talking about, creating fun memories. So when you create fun memories with your child, create memories with your spouse, I'm telling you, you can't grow apart. They look forward to connecting with you.
Yes, and you'll be one would be doing something and thinking, when am I going to share this with Ian?
Yes.
When am I going to share this with
Tony?
We need to do this. Or you'll be talking with a friend, and the friend talks about, like the other day, a colleague was talking to me about this lovely place in Italy, and she was like, Chidi, I'm going to show you the most romantic spot you need to take your spouse to, your husband to. And for me, at that point, it's like, oh wow, okay. I start imagining things. So how would it be? How going to such a place? So never get tired of creating fun memories.
Absolutely.
All right. The third one is, don't forget we're talking about what makes you grow apart. When you begin to practice the blame game. This might seem very trivial, but it really does a lot of damage to your relationship when you start practicing the blame game. And what do we mean? Something happens, it's never about you. It's never you, it's about the other person.
Exactly.
Oh, he did it, she did it, it's you. You remember when you did this, But I think it's a sign of maturity to sometimes just take responsibility for your actions. Okay, something's gone wrong. Oh, I'm really sorry, and apologize. Oh, I'm really sorry this happened, and okay, I will make redress. I will look into how I react next time. But when you keep pointing a finger at the other person, forgetting that some others are pointing at you. You know, when something happens, it's about us, right?
Yes.
Like we say, it's about the two individuals in this thing. So whatever has gone wrong, why don't you just look at, okay, probably if I had reacted differently, things would have been different. You know, it's just a sign of maturity.
Absolutely. One thing about blaming is this: it makes the other person the enemy, and what happens is that people begin to protect themselves. If someone is coming at you to blame you, the natural thing to do is to be
get defensive.
You become defensive, because it is the instinct in man to be self-preserved, to self-preserve themselves. So one comes at you, the natural thing is to preserve yourself. Some people attack. All right. So blaming is not always the best way. And so what's the best way? The best way is, I'm not happy about how this situation made me feel. What can we look? Well, you know, personally, this is what I do. When something goes wrong, I want to see, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? Because I've found out that when I come from that point of trying to see how I reflect, what can I do, it's the conversation always goes better than when I'm thinking about winning an argument. The argument, I may win the argument, but I lose the relationship at the end of the day. And so at the end of the day, from maturity of, you know, being in marriage for a while, you come to understand that, hey, winning some of those petty arguments, at the end of the day, you are losing the bigger picture. The bigger picture is the relationship that you have with your spouse, leaving a sour taste in their mouth because they feel that, you know, you're just pointing an accusing finger, or I feel like she's just pointing an accusing finger. Nobody wins. At the end of the day, we are both angry. So the thing is, choose between, do you want to win the agreement or you want to win the argument? You can't win both. So choose right. Yeah.
I like that. Okay. So that will lead us to the next point, which is poor conflict management skills. It is very important. You know, we often would emphasize that couples going into relationship, into marriage, learn how to manage conflict.
Because it's a skill.
It is a skill, exactly. Anyone can learn this.
Anyone can learn it.
It's really sad when you see some spouses say, "Oh, that's how I've always been." No, your spouse shouldn't have to put up with how you've always been. There should be room for improvement.
Absolutely.
You can't be better. You know, what we say, the experience you have is about both of you. So when you become a better version of yourself, you'll be having a better relationship.
Absolutely.
Okay, so poor conflict management skills just spoils things. Sometimes we find couples who say, I'm not confrontational. I don't like confrontation. Okay, and then what that does sometimes is that you duck from having those conversations that you should have. They're necessary, but they make you feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
Okay, and sometimes the other is just on the offensive, more like, you did this, can we deal with this? And the other is trying to duck from it. No, that's not good conflict management skill. So one would need to learn to, you know, face these things and let's talk about it. Be confident. Maybe, okay, if you're not disposed at the time to talk about it, you can ask for some time. I will come back and we will talk about it. But ensure that you talk about it.
Yes.
Because there's something conflict does. It even helps you attain greater heights in your relationship. You'll be amazed.
Yes.
You know, when one issue is properly resolved, the intimacy, the level of intimacy between you becomes stronger.
Absolutely. Well, so what we think when we take couples through Intimacy Builder program for couples, we have Intimacy Builder. It's our coaching program, 8-week coaching program. What we help them to see, we help them to see conflict not as a problem, but as an opportunity.
That's right.
Because during conflict, what happens is that different values, different perspectives, different paradigms are going that are contrary, are going against each other. So the thing there is this: we help them to see how that is in itself is a blessing and how they can walk around it. And the testimonies have been fantastic. So the key thing there is conflict is not always a bad thing. It's just an indication that you have contrary view on an issue. So the moment you learn how to walk around it, is best. 2, when you don't address conflict on time, you don't manage it, you don't see the positive side, you don't leverage on conflict to build a stronger relationship, what happens is that you sweep a lot of things under the carpet. And so one person is hurt, they can't even remember why they're hurt. They're just angry with you. And so with such a person, you can't build intimacy. And when you don't build intimacy, you grow apart. Because once you, what's the name of Maya Angelou said something, that people may not remember what you said, but they remember how you made them feel. So at the end of the day, they may not remember what the issues were, but they remember how they felt. So when they come around you, you begin to notice silent treatment. They begin to try to avoid you because you just create, you being in their presence generate negative energy. So they want to leave you, they want to leave it to yourself. And so what happens is that couples begin to grow apart because they leave it for too long.
Okay, so we'll talk about the last one, which is focusing on your spouse's weaknesses rather than your spouse's strengths. Okay, everyone has strengths and weaknesses. I mean, if you look at yourself, you'll be able to tell, okay, these are my strong areas. In this area, I think I'm defaulting. But it's how you look at it, really. Weaknesses are there, and sometimes they could be strengths in disguise. It's how you look at them.
Absolutely.
So, in this, there was one of our videos in which we discussed something similar to this. Is your marriage really that bad?
Yeah.
Okay, you can find that on our YouTube channel, Foundation for Family Affairs. Is your marriage really that bad? So when you begin to focus on your spouse's weaknesses, you even forget that there's something good in this person.
Whatever you focus on is all you see eventually. It's the law of growth. As you keep focusing on it, the law of concentration, as you keep focusing on it, it's going to expand. Alright, if you are thinking about how to make your wife's life better, you'll be seeing opportunities because that's what you are thinking about. The brain works, there are billions of information that passes through the brain, so it can't process all. What happens is that it begins to shield out a lot of information based on your preconceived notion, based on the belief system you have. So once you believe that your spouse is exceptional, your spouse cannot do wrong, that's what you believe, everything you're going to be saying is going to be good things about your spouse. And that's what happens to people at the early part of the relationship. They just think this person cannot go wrong. So when people are telling you, watch out this, you say, no, don't worry, I know how to handle this. Why? You are in that state where everything you are saying about your spouse. So once that wears out, which is the initial love, once that wears out, you now need to begin to build what we call mature love. Mature love is when you now begin to deliberately love the person you've married. Consciously loving, and that love is not based on emotion, it's based on maturity, it's based on decision. So that is the love we call agape love. It's the love that you make consciously. Like this person, unconditional love. Unconditional means it's not based on your actions, it's not based on your attitude, it's not based on your emotional cycle. I'm going to love you anyway. And that's an emotional love. Once you get to that stage, mature love. Sorry, thank you. That's a mature love. Once you get to that stage, what happens is that you begin to build gradually, and then you now begin to experience that initial high you have. That's why you see some people, they begin to look alike because they've built many years, they've forgiven each other many times over, and they have consciously decided, I'm going to love this person, I'm going to be the best for this person, I'm going to support this person's dream, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be a shoulder for them to cry on. What happens is that people begin to transform. You begin to pull people to a higher standard. So when people really love and they connect, when you see them down the line, you'll be wondering, is it the same person? Because they've so much grown, they become better, they become more mature, they become more tolerable, they become more innovative. Alright, so that's when people allow the marriage to really work on them. Alright, so if you see have the same issues you had in your 20s, in your 40s, in your 50s,
it's not a sign.
It's not a sign of growth. You're not growing emotionally.
Yes. Oh, we've been saying we'll talk about emotional growth.
Yeah.
We will do that in one of our videos. So look out for that.
So we want to use this opportunity to tell you, if you are having issues in your relationship, you feel that you are growing apart. Growing apart will explain what that means, where is the opposite of intimacy. Instead of you guys connecting, you don't know everything you have done seems not to be working. Get in touch with us at info at foundationforfamilyaffairs.org. Okay?
Yeah.
So send us an email. We're going to work with you and build back your intimacy. We have a program called Intimacy Builder Program for married couples.
And we will leave the link under this video. You can click on that link, fill it, and it'll come to us. We'll be in touch.
Absolutely.
All right. So until we come your way again, do not forget the 5 points we've shared. Get working and let's keep improving our marriages. Let's make marriage go viral. All right, until we come your way again, it's goodbye from us.
Bye.